Okay, let's go.
Hey there, my friend. Have you ever woken up and felt like nothing's really working in your life? You're trying, you're putting in the effort, but the results just aren't showing up? Maybe the problem isn't what you aren't doing. Maybe it's the things you're doing every single day without even realizing how much they're holding you back. Let's uncover 5 hidden but powerful habits that could be silently sabotaging your progress. Habit 1. Checking your phone right after waking up. The first thing your brain sees is someone else's life. That puts your mind into a reactive, consumption-focused state instead of a creative and intentional one. Start your mornings with you, your goals, your thoughts, not with notifications and stories that drain your energy. Take a deep breath, pause for a moment, and let your day begin with calm clarity.
I think one of the things that's really powerful is just a lot of people, they give away their sovereignty and their power first thing in the morning. The first thing in the morning, they'll pick up their phone and they'll check everything, because there's the way it's set up, right? They're getting their dopamine fixes and it's just really rewiring their brain. So it's training them just to be distracted all the time.
What's your morning routine look like? How does one avoid falling into the trap of reaching right for the cell phone and letting the world dictate?
Okay, so I like really managing my first hour of the day and the last hour of the day because that's where I could control. Like sometimes when you go to the office, things are gonna hit you and such like that. But here, when you wake up, instead of reaching for your phone, right? Because first of all, I always I don't keep the phone actually, and I don't touch my phone the first hour. Because the problem is when you check for your email, for instance, all you're training yourself is just how to respond. You're reacting to everybody else's demands that they have for you, all their requests of the things that they're sending you. And so that's something that I don't want to train my brain to do. I meditate 20 minutes in the morning. I have a full glass of water. I plan my day. I just write down 3 business things that I want to be able to focus on and then 3 personal things. And that's a win for me. I don't have to go through a checklist of 200 things.
Habit 2. Using limiting self-talk. I can't. I've always been this way. Every time you say things like that, you're training your brain to believe you can't grow or change. These limiting beliefs are like invisible chains keeping you stuck. Success starts the moment you change the way you talk to yourself. Replace I can't with I'm learning, and you'll start to shift your entire path.
Listen to me. You are carrying a lie inside you right now, and it's poisoning everything you touch. Every single one of you sitting here today has a voice inside your head that says, you're not enough, you'll never make it, you're broken, you're stuck, you don't deserve it. You know that voice. You've heard it when you failed, you've heard it when you were rejected, you've heard it in the silence of your worst days. And I'm here to tell you that voice is a liar. It's not the voice of truth. It's the voice of fear. It's the voice of shame. It's the voice of every bad memory that you never cleaned up, every hard moment you never properly understood, every wound you never properly healed. And the worst part, you believed it. You didn't just hear the voice, you listened to it, you welcomed it. You let it sit at the table, and slowly, day by day, without even realizing it, you let that voice become your identity. I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not brave enough. I'm not good enough. No, enough. You are not that voice. You are not the sum of your doubts. You are not a broken thing wandering through life hoping to be fixed. You are a creature of unbelievable potential. But you have forgotten. You see, negative beliefs are learned. You were not born doubting yourself. You were not born afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of standing up and taking space in the world. You were taught to be afraid. And if you were taught to believe a lie, you can teach yourself to believe the truth. But first you have to wake up. You have to see that the beliefs running your life aren't facts. They're not sacred. They're not permanent. They're habits. Mental programs written by pain, failure, and fear, running on autopilot. And like any bad program, they can be rewritten. Do you understand how powerful that is? You're not trapped. You're not stuck. You're not doomed to live in the shadow of those beliefs forever. You have a choice. Right now, you can tear those beliefs apart. You can rebuild yourself from the inside out, but it will not happen by accident. You have to stand up. You have to face the dark places inside you. You have to stare straight into the chaos and say, no, you don't get to run my life anymore. Because if you don't, you will spend the rest of your life a slave to lies that were never yours to begin with.
Habit 3. Surrounding yourself with negative people. If you're constantly around people who complain, blame others, and run away from responsibility or growth, know that they're draining your energy, not fueling it. Your environment shapes your mindset. So be intentional about who you keep close. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and inspire you to grow. Remember, success isn't built alone. It's built with the support of positive energy. Being busy instead of being productive. Just because your schedule is packed doesn't mean you're actually making progress. Successful people know the difference between being busy and being effective. Busyness can just be noise. Productivity means doing what actually matters. Don't waste your energy on low-impact tasks. Invest your time in building the future you want. It's not about how much you do, it's about doing the right things.
Let me ask you something today. Have you ever ended a long, exhausting day and still felt like you didn't get anything important done? You were busy, no doubt about it. Meetings, emails, phone calls, running here and there. But when you sat down and asked yourself, what did I actually accomplish today? There was silence, no real progress, no meaningful results, just motion, just noise. Now listen carefully. Busy is not the same thing as productive. Activity is not the same thing as achievement. Movement doesn't always mean progress. And here's the danger. If you confuse being busy with being productive for too long, you can waste months, even years of your life, spinning in circles. Hard work is important, but hard work without direction is like rowing a boat in the wrong direction. Faster rowing doesn't get you any closer to the right shore. Today, I want to challenge your thinking. I want to shift the way you measure your days, not by how much you move, but by how far you actually move toward your goals. Because once you understand the difference between motion and progress, between activity and accomplishment, you'll work less, you'll achieve more, and you'll finally start building the life you truly want. Stay with me. Let's learn how to stop being just busy and start being truly productive. The illusion of busyness. It's easy to fall into the trap. It's easy to mistake a packed schedule for a meaningful life. You wake up early, you rush out the door, you spend the day running from one task to another, and by nighttime, you're exhausted. But here's the question. Exhausted from what? Was it from progress toward your dreams, or just from staying busy? You see, activity is so deceiving, it feels like accomplishment. It looks like hard work. It even wins applause sometimes. But unless that activity is tied to clear goals, to real outcomes, it's just movement without meaning. It's like being on a rocking horse. Lots of motion, but you never leave the porch. I want you to remember something today. The goal is not to stay busy. The goal is to move forward. There's an old saying that goes, don't confuse motion with progress. It's one of the greatest mistakes people make. They fill up the day, but they don't fill up their life. They measure how much they hustle, but not how much they actually build. And at the end of the year, they wonder why they're still standing in the same place. Now, why does this happen? Because busyness feeds the ego. It makes us feel important. I'm so busy, we say, as if it's a badge of honor. But in truth, busyness without productivity is a silent thief. It steals your time. It steals your energy. And worst of all, it steals your future. Let me share something powerful with you. Don't get trapped in the circle of small tasks, answering endless emails, attending every meeting, chasing every minor issue. These are the activities that look urgent, but they rarely move you closer to your dreams. You must learn to distinguish between the urgent and the important, because busy people react to life, but productive people design their life. If you're not careful, you can spend your whole life busy and broke, busy but unhappy, busy but stuck at the same level you were 5 years ago. And that is not what you were put here for. You were designed for growth. You were built for progress. You were meant to achieve, not just survive. So here's your first action step. Audit your activity. At the end of today, don't just ask, was I busy? Ask, did I make progress? What got built today? What moved forward today? What seeds were planted today that will grow into tomorrow's success? Because my friend, you don't get paid for how busy you are. You get paid for how valuable you become. You don't get rewards for how much you run around. You get rewards for what you produce, what you build, and what you leave behind. Let's not just stay busy this year. Let's stay productive. Let's make sure our movement has meaning. Let's trade the illusion of busyness for the satisfaction of real achievement. That's the beginning of a brand new life.
Habit 5. Constant comparison on social media. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's perfectly edited highlight reel. This crushes your self-esteem and distracts you from your own journey. Everyone's path, timing, and story are different. Focus on your own progress, your growth, and your goals. The real story is happening off camera. Don't lose sight of it.
Well, the first thing I think you need to understand is that these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well. And what that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life. Maybe you're in California, see someone speeding down the road in a convertible Porsche, and you think, oh man, what a lucky bastard. And the truth of the matter is that he's thinking about wrapping his expensive sports car around the next cement pillar that he comes close to. You can't tell, and people have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And so the ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. I can give you just one example. I know a fair number of extremely wealthy people, and most of the people I happen to know are people who've made their money themselves. And I tell you, man, they have a burden of responsibility that would crush me, would crush the typical person. They're just working flat out, like 90 hours a week, and they have thousands of people depending on them. And they have their money, and they have their status, and that's not nothing. But don't be thinking that there isn't a price to be paid for that. They don't see their families, they're often divorced, they don't see their children grow up, and they don't have time off. Now, there are wealthy, what would you call, playboy types, I suppose, who live out the dreams of wealth of a foolish 14-year-old, but they're not that common, and you have to be careful of what you're jealous of because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to understand that you're different from everyone else. And this is especially true as you get older. When you're 17 or 16 or something like that, comparing yourself to other people makes a certain amount of sense because 16 and 17-year-olds, they're kind of the same, which is why when you go off to university, you can make friends so quickly. It's like, I'm just about 60. It takes me like 15 years to make a friend now, as opposed to the 2 months that it took when I was 17. You're quite different from other people, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them because they're not like you. They don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that has those is you. And this is why one of the rules, I think it's rule 4, is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win because you could be a little better today than you were yesterday. And that's a good thing.
These habits may seem small, but like water dripping on rock, they can slowly wear away your potential and lead your life in the wrong direction. Becoming aware of them is the moment you take your power back. So ask yourself, which habit do you need to say goodbye to? Drop it in the comments and let this video be your turning point. If this helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe because this is just the beginning. The best part of your journey is still ahead.